TBS News, I'm Rosine Park. Health Minister Kwon Deok-cheol has reiterated warnings that the government will have no choice but to implement stricter social distancing rules if the coronavirus curve isn't flattened soon. He called for stepped-up efforts to prevent a possible collapse of the medical and quarantine systems during an interagency COVID response meeting today amid surging infections and deaths. He stressed the importance of public cooperation to block the worst-case scenario, which he said would be a sudden surge in coronavirus fatalities or a complete lockdown. Vaccines and booster shots in conjunction with antivirus curbs, he said, were the most effective ways to fight the disease. Officials have indicated that business curfews for restaurants and cafes and further caps on private gatherings could be reintroduced to combat the resurgence. More than 5,000 new COVID-19 cases were confirmed in the last 24 hours, with the spread of the virus showing little signs of slowing, while fears continue to mount over the new Omicron variant. The Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency said it recorded 5,817 new infections, including more than 4,000 from the Greater Seoul area and 34 imported from abroad. 24 more Omicron cases were also detected, bringing the total to 114 since the first such cases were confirmed in early December. The country also added 40 more COVID-related deaths, pushing the death toll up to 4,293. Meanwhile, the number of critically ill coronavirus patients in ICU stood at 876, down slightly from the all-time high of 894 on Sunday. In an effort to contain the country's worst virus surge, the government is enforcing a vaccine pass system and tighter restrictions on private gatherings, while encouraging all eligible teens and adults to get their COVID vaccine shots as soon as possible. Everyone 18 years and older who was fully vaccinated against COVID at least 3 months ago can sign up for a booster shot. Those eligible can make reservations through the National Vaccine Registration website. The move made by the government last week apparently aims to reduce the risk of breakthrough infections and better protect individuals for more transmissible coronavirus variants. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has warned of a looming tidal wave of Omicron. On Sunday, he brought forward a target to give over 18s a booster jab by 1 month to the end of December. Johnson made the announcement in a televised address after the country's medical advisors raised the COVID alert level due to a rapid increase in infection from the Omicron variant. President Moon Jae-in has made clear that South Korea is not considering a diplomatic boycott of the 2022 Beijing Olympics. He said Seoul has not been asked by the United States or any other nation to consider a boycott. He was speaking at a joint press conference today with Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison following their bilateral summit in Canberra. There had been speculation that Seoul might follow in the steps of Washington after it announced last week that it would not send officials or diplomats to the Winter Games over human rights violations by the Chinese government. And in the United States, more than 90 people are now known to have been killed by devastating tornadoes that swept through the Midwest on Friday. At least 80 of them were in Kentucky and around 14 across 5 other states. That's all the news for now. You're listening to TBS eFM.